Welcome to the President's Diagnosis, a video tutorial to conduct a President's Diagnosis for Sutter Care at Home. My name is Tom Jackson, Managing Director at Moss Adams. This is section 1 of the video tutorial and answers the question, what is the President's Diagnosis? The instructional objective of this section is to understand what the President's Diagnosis is and why we conduct it. The President's Diagnosis is a visit to the Gemba, the real place where the work is conducted. The Gemba can include a physical environment such as care in a patient's home. It can include a hospital where physicians and clinicians attend and other clinicians attend to patients in beds or in a lab. It can also pertain to administrative work, also the work conducted on a computer screen. The President's Diagnosis is normally conducted by managers of the organization being diagnosed. This is the origin of the diagnosis. However, in this case, the diagnosis will be conducted by external consultants. We will also be training Sutter executives to conduct their own diagnosis. The purpose of the diagnosis is to observe the organizational health or condition of the client, to diagnose that condition, and then to prescribe treatment for the condition. The diagnosis is definitely not an audit because audits are intended to ensure compliance with standards, policies, and regulations. Often, non-compliance can lead to discipline or some other activity that really may not be helpful in terms of the organization's improving its culture. Diagnoses lead to prescriptions for change. There is no blame. They are conducted in a spirit of helpfulness and respectfulness. Prescriptions treat conditions, and these conditions are often not normally the result of choices made by frontline staff. Such conditions are more often the result of choices made by senior leaders and managers. The President's Diagnosis is probably familiar to many people, but by a different name. Its origins lie in the Deming Prize, and on the far left you see the Deming Prize Committee Medal, which has been awarded to leading Japanese companies and to some American companies for almost the last 70 years. In the middle is the Malcolm Baldrige Award, which is pretty much a copy of the Deming Prize. And on the right-hand side, you'll see the Shingo Prize, a more recent addition to the panoply of quality and productivity prizes. There are many other examples that we could name. These are probably the most three familiar systems in the United States. All of these prizes utilize the methodologies which we now refer to as the President's Diagnosis, which arose in Japan in the late 50s, many years ago. Before we complete this section, I'd like to preview something we call the transformation ruler and give you a general idea of how we define a healthy organization, because the diagnosis hinges on this concept. As I indicated, the President's Diagnosis has roots in the Deming Prize and in total quality management. At the core of this practice is a method called PDCA, or Plan, Do, Check, Act. It's also known as Plan, Do, Check, Adjust, and some of you may know it as Plan, Do, Study, Act, or Plan, Do, Study, Adjust. It's basically the scientific method. All work methods that are based upon this approach are reliable, and they're stable, and they produce excellent quality. We're going to use a 5-level Likert scale, seen here, to describe conditions from unhealthy at level 1 to super fit at level 5. A mature, healthy organization is at level 4. So how does that work? At level 4, we expect all processes, including administrative and support processes, to be excellent in terms of both their reliability and their quality or stability. At level 1, we're going to find that processes are not reliable and they're not stable. It is difficult to conduct scientific analysis because the data aren't very good. We don't have standards. We don't adhere to standards. When we do find a defect, we don't learn very much from it. And this is typical of a level 1. At level 2, we expect to see organizations piloting the reliable methods of Six Sigma, or piloting the reliable methods of A3 thinking, or lean production, or perhaps total productive maintenance with respect to equipment management, or perhaps in the innovation sphere, the 3P process of production pioneering. At level 2, the organization should have spread its learning about stability and reliability to all of its major processes. This is called deployment. Some of you may know it by the Japanese term of yokoten, which means to spread. At level 3, the organization will be reliable and stable. It may not be the best in class, but it's going to be very good. And furthermore, because it's stable, scientific analysis will be possible. This is really where continuous improvement begins, at level 3. At level 4, as we said, we have pushed beyond mere reliability and mere stability. We now have excellent reliability, we have dependable processes, and we have excellent quality. At level 5, you'll see level 5 really is for special students. It really is for the Olympic athlete. And organizations don't necessarily strive to be at level 5 in all of their processes. They pick this application very carefully in order to extend their competitive advantage in the marketplace, or to provide excellent care to their patients or their customers. So this is the basic idea: a 5-level Likert scale after Professor Likert at the University of Michigan, where level 4 defines our ideal of what it is to be a normal, healthy, mature organization. Level 5 is for the super fit Olympic athlete, and levels 1, 2, and 3 define the process by which we become mature, we become healthy.